The US is jockeying hard to deter a Russian incursion into Ukraine. NATO has bases in Poland and Romania. And in the latest, Washington has said it is willing to discuss inspection of the two NATO bases. This is on the issue of an alleged deployment of Tomahawk intermediate-range cruise missiles to Poland and Romania. The move is aimed to disperse Russia's concerns that the Aegis ashore missile defense systems can be used to fire Tomahawks. Bloomberg's sources have revealed that any agreement would only happen after discussions with allies, especially Poland and Romania. Moreover, the inspections of NATO bases would need to be reciprocated with a number of Russian bases housing ground-launched weapons. The United States claims that there are no offensive missiles such as Tomahawks deployed in Poland and Romania. Even so, Russian President Vladimir Putin has repeatedly suggested that the US and NATO could use the Aegis ashore missile defense system to fire Tomahawks. As per Putin, these strike systems can cover thousands of kilometers of Russian territory. Understandably, Washington's proposal for discussions with Russia reflects U.S. efforts to defuse tensions over Ukraine. Moreover, the White House has announced that the United States is not considering any unilateral actions to support Ukraine, including sending American troops to the country. Moscow has massed more than 100,000 troops on the Ukraine border. Even though Putin denies plans to attack Ukraine, he has demanded security guarantees, one that wants NATO to close its doors to new members in the region, even to those like Ukraine that are aspiring to be NATO members. Russia also doesn't want deployment of offensive weapons on its borders. It's not clear whether Russia would agree to give the US access to its missile sites. Also at this hour, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson is fighting for his premiership. A series of scandals have mounted the trouble for Johnson. The allegations have caused public anger and led some Conservative lawmakers to call for Johnson's resignation. More and more Conservative lawmakers are joining the calls for Johnson to face a vote of no confidence. There are at least 17 Tory members of Parliament who have submitted letters of no confidence, but only 7 have publicly confirmed that they have taken this step. The true number of letters may well be higher and nearer the threshold. Senior Tory Member of Parliament Gary Streeter is the latest to show no confidence in Prime Minister. The South West Devon Member of Parliament said, "I cannot reconcile the pain and sacrifice of the vast majority of the British public during lockdown with the attitude and activities of those working in Downing Street." He added he has submitted a letter seeking a motion of no confidence in the Prime Minister. Early in the day, the Conservative Member of Parliament of Totnes, Anthony Magnol, said he could no longer support the Prime Minister. Other Conservative members of Parliament who have stated publicly that they have written one are former Conservative Party Vice Chair Roger Gale, Scottish Conservative leader Douglas Ross, Chair of Defence Select Committee and former Junior Minister Tobias Elwood, Andrew Bridgen and Peter Aldous. In order to trigger a vote on the Prime Minister's leadership of the party, at least 54 members of Parliament need to write to the chairman of the party's 1922 committee. While it takes 54 members of Parliament to trigger a confidence vote, 180 will then be required to ensure his removal. During COVID-19 lockdowns, alcohol-fueled events were held in Johnson's office and residence. Following an inquiry on Downing Street parties, Johnson has apologized. The inquiry found that the parties represented a serious failure to observe the standards expected of the government. The Metropolitan Police Force will be interviewing party attendees and looking at more than 300 photos. Over 500 pages of documents will be looked into, which it had received from Sue Gray's team. Anyone found guilty, including the Prime Minister, could face a fine. Johnson has urged his critics to wait for the conclusions of the police investigation. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.